Everyone. This is Dr. Arun Kumar KM from the Department of Agriculture Entomology. Today I am going to discuss some brief history of agriculture entomology, especially the entomology. See, if you see the history of the life on the earth, it's around 4 billion years, 4 billion years ago itself it was evolved. Okay, so but 99% of the life forms met with an extinction. Whatever the animals or maybe any organism which evolved earlier, some million years ago itself, they have evolved. So they are extinct now. Currently, it is not there on the earth. So take the one of the best example, that is Dinosaurus, which appeared around 200 or 210 million years ago, but currently it is not there in the earth. But with respect to the insects which evolved or appeared on the earth around 350 to 500 million years ago itself, even now you can see those kinds of insects, which is uh, even far earlier as compared to the human beings who appeared around 1 to 1.5 million years ago on the earth. Okay, so many of the organisms are extinct now, but except few of the organisms like insects. So, but even in case of many of the scripts like it may be Ramayana and Mahabharata, they mentioned the insect, or many number of terms were used about the insect. Take the example like for pipilica, for ants they used to call it as pipilica, for grasshoppers they used to call it as a patanga, and for honeybee they used to call it as madhumukshika, and for termite queen they used to call it as Umbakapalika. There are many other terms are there, like it may be Brahmara. There are many other insects are many other terms are there for the which were mentioned in Ramayana, maybe in Mahabharata and olden scripts. The reference to the the reference to the insect were found in Sanskrit dictionary, that is Amarokosha, and some of the books like Arthashastra, Chanakya Sutra, and many other books. So the great physician who is the Shusruta, he classified the different insects, especially the ants. There is a Papilica into 6 number of groups. So next, some of the people know the values of the insect with respect to the honey. So where they used to consume it and lag. So I think you might have heard about the Mahabharata where lag palace was constructed by Kauravas to kill the Pandavas, and silk. So many of the people used to wear the silken sarees and maybe silken dresses during those period of time. And if you know about the export during 387 BC, so Indian king silken stuff to the Persian ruler. So next, house of lag already I discussed earlier itself. Okay. Now what about the first in the history of entomology? A sage called Mandavya, he got impaired himself for having collected the insect. So he was considered as the first insect collector, but he was impaired himself because it was considered as a sin actually. So it was nothing but a mistake. That is the reason. Next, the first scientific study of insect was done during the 18th century. So it was again, there are many number of scientists worked on it, worked on the insects or maybe entomology. Among the first one is Aristotle. He made an investigation about the flies, honeybees, and then ants, etc. Yeah, I think you may know about the Aristotle. He's not only entomologist; he's many things. He's the father of biological classification, father of biology, father, and he worked on what you call even for economics and many more things. In the same way, he worked even for the entomology also. Next, in the year 1745 to 1808, here there is an entry of a J.C. Fabricius. He made an extensive study of the Indian insects for the first time and classified insect into 3 orders based on the type of mouth parts. Currently, the classification of insects is completely based on the wings. That is Pterygota. Again, in case of Pterygota, it is Endopterygota and Exopterygota. But first classification was made by J.C. Fabricius based on the types of mouth part, like it may be mandibular type of mouth parts like chewing and biting, or it may be osteoid type of mouth parts like piercing and sucking or anything. Okay, so next in the year 1758, the beginning of the modern Indian entomology is going to be initiated or started because of the publication of 10th edition of Systema Nature by Carolus Linnaeus. In the shortly is also called as Carl Linnaeus, where only 12 Indian insects were included, and it forms the first record. So of course, first publication was published in the year 1735, where he is going to mention or classify the organisms into biologically, like it may be taxonomy, what you call it, like a genus, species, and all. So that is why he's called as a father of taxonomy. Okay. In the same way, in his 12th edition, he is going to mention about the insects, so which includes 12 number of Indian insects. Okay, so that's why it's called as a first record. So next, J.G. Kuhn. So he was a medical officer from Denmark, a student of Carl Linnaeus and a friend of J.C. Fabrius. For the first time during the 18th century, collected many number of insects from Coromandel area and southern peninsular India, and his collections were studied and named by Professor Linnaeus itself. Okay, so apart from him, other systematists like it may be Fabricius, Kramer, Dury also studied the insects which are collected by J.G. Koenig. So that is the reason his friend Fabricius made a Koenig's name remembered forever by the naming the well-known and destructive red cotton bug, that is the important pest of the cotton. Okay, so of this country as Disdercus koenigi. Of course, currently it is called as Disdercus singulatus. Okay, so this is the picture you can see here. So it was during the 1767 to 1777, 1779. Okay. Next, in the year 1782, Dr. Kerr published an account on the lac insect. Okay, is completely worked on lac insect itself. It is one of the beneficial insect. Next, in the year 1840, Ray Hope he published a paper called Entomology of Himalayas and then India. Next, in the year 1893, Dr. Rothney he was going to publish a book called as Indian Ants. It was considered as the earliest record of biological pest control in India, because there was a Shetty named some person in the Tamil Nadu area. He was having some provision stores which was attacked by the white ants. It is nothing but a termites, but those white ants or termites are controlled by the red ants. Means biologically it was controlled by some other organisms or it may be insect. So it was recorded and written as a or published as a book by Dr. Rothney as Indian Ants. Next, in the year 1897, Sir Ronald Ross is an IMS officer. So I am the IMS officer, or it may be in charge of a Madras regiment stationed in Begumpet, is currently Sikandrabad, made an discovery of the malarial parasite in a dissected Anopheles mosquito. Okay. Next, in the year 1901, Lionel D. Niceville is going to be appointed as the first entomologist to Government of India. Next, in the year 1903, Maxwell Lafray is going to be succeeded as the second entomologist to Government of India. In the year 1906, he is going to publish a book called as Indian Insect Pest. Next, in the year 1909, again he is going to publish another book called Indian Insect Life. Okay, so he is going to publish two important books in the year 1906, Indian Insect Pest. In the year 1909, he is going to publish Indian Insect Life. Okay, next in the year 1914, so T.V. Fletcher is the first government entomologist of Madras state. Earlier, the previous two people, Lionel Dave Neswell or maybe Maxwell Lafray, they were for government of India for particular state. So T.B. Fletcher was the first government entomologist. Okay, so he is going to write a book called as Some South Indian Insights. So another contribution of the Fletcher is the publication of series under the under the catalog of the Indian insect, which marked another era in the history of an Indian insect taxonomy. Next, in the same year, E.P. Stubbing, so he is going to become the first imperial forest entomologist, which is going to publish a book called as Indian Forest Insects of Economic Importance, belongs to the order Coleoptera. So whatever we discussed the previous scientists or maybe other officers, they are the only for entomology, so general entomology. But this EP is taking for forest entomology. Okay, he was the imperial entomologist. Next, in the year 1939, so there was the establishment of a laboratory for storage pest in Hapur. It's currently located in Uttar Pradesh. Next, in the same year 1937, entomology division was started in IRA, New Delhi. Next, in the year 1939, establishment of locust warning organization. So in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, because the breeding season or breeding site of the locust is usually in the desert areas of Rajasthan or it may be some part of Pakistan. That is the reason it is established in Jodhpur. Okay, so after the locust, so it is established after the locust plague during the year 1926 to 1932. Next, in the year 1940, so T.V. Ramakrishna Iyer from South India is going to wrote a book called Handbook of Economic Entomology for South India. It is an important book. Next, in the year 1953, there was a national malaria eradication program was launched in India. In the year 1960, the desert locust in India was written by Y. Ramachandra Rao. It was considered as a monograph. Monograph means So it is having the information only related to the desert locust. Next, in the year 1963, so textbook of agriculture entomology was written by H.S. Pruthi. Next, in the year 1968, general entomology was written by M.S. Mani, M. Subramanian Mani, like that. Next, in the year 1969, insect pest of crops written by S. Pradhan. Next, in the another year 1975, elements of economic entomology was written by B. Vasantraj David and T. Kumaraswamy. Of course, there are many number of editions are there from elements of economic entomology even now, and along with some other co-authors. Again, in the same year 1975, insects and mites of crops in India was written by M.R.G.K. Nair. And immediately after next year, 1976, General and Applied Entomology was written by K.K. Nair, N. Ananthakrishnan, and B. Vasantaraj David. So this is about the brief history about the entomology, and there are many number of entomological institutions are there all over India. Now let us discuss what are those institutes which are currently working on entomology. The first one is in the year 1905. So establishment of a agriculture research institute by Lord Curzon. So the land was donated by Mr. Piff from USA. So that is the reason it is called as Pusa campus. Okay, so agriculture research institute was established in Pusa campus of Pusa, that is Bihar itself. Okay, so since the land was donated by Pips from USA, it is called as P from Pips, and USA, as you already know that it is a country. It has taken from that. Next, in the year 1906, Forest Research Institutes. It was established in Dehradun, where many number of movies were shot here. Next, in the year 1911, Agriculture Research Institute Pusa was renamed as Imperial Agricultural Research Institute in the same place, Pusa itself, that is Bihar. So from ARI to this renamed as IARI, Imperial Agricultural Research Institute, in the year 1911. Next, after 3 years, that is 1914, Zoological Survey of India was established in Calcutta. Next, in the year 1925, Indian Lake Research Institute was established in Namkum, Ranchi of Jharkhand, ILRI. But currently, it is called as IINRG, means Indian Institute of Natural Resins and then Gums. So, which is purely good works on the lake itself. Next, in the year 1936, the Imperial Agriculture Research Institute, that is IARI, is shifted from Pusa, Bihar to New Delhi. Okay, so because in the year, maybe in the year 1935 something else, there was an earthquake in Pusa campus. That is the reason they shifted to New Delhi. Okay, now currently you can see the picture of a IRI campus, of library of a IRI campus. Next, in the year 1937, there was the establishment of a division of entomology in the IRI campus of New Delhi. Next, in the year 1946, Directorate of Plant Protection, Quarantine and Storage, that is DPP Q and S, was established by Faridabad. So it plays a major role in case of a legal control and maybe quarantine of an insects, plant quarantine. So with respect to the pest, with respect to the diseases, and maybe even weeds, there are around 35 number of stations are located all over India. So if you want to import or export anything from our country, or if you want to import from other country also, so the work is taken by functioned by DPPQ and RS, DPPQ and S. Next, in the year 1946, same year, there was the establishment of what you call Central Plant Protection Training Institute. Then it was renamed as National Plant Protection Training Institute, so which is located in Hyderabad, but currently it is called as National Institute of Plant Health Management. So they are giving the training for many people. It may be for the student, faculties, or KVK members, or any other people. Next, in the year 1947, since we got the independence, that Imperial Agriculture Research Institute was renamed as Indian Agricultural Research Institute, okay, which is as usual located in New Delhi itself. Next, in the year 1988, National Institute of Integrated Pest Management was established in New Delhi. So earlier it was called as National Center of Integrated Pest Management, NCIPM, but currently it is called as NIIPM. Okay. Next, in the year 2009, there was a establishment of a PDBC. So of course earlier it was ACRP and Biological Control. Next it was renamed as PDBC, Project Director and Biological Control. Then again it was renamed in the year, or it became National Bureau in the year 2009. That is National Bureau of Agricultural Import and Insight, NBAII. But currently it is called as National Bureau of Agricultural Insight Resources, that is NBAIR. Okay, this is about the brief history about the entomology. Thank you.